How do they do it? Why do they do it? Riding and crashing and riding and winning and always faster and faster.
Well, welcome back everybody to With Antone MotoGP, and we've just had the Malaysian Moto Grand Prix, which is round 20 of the 2025 championship. And you know, I've been involved with motorcycles and motorcycle racing since the 1970s. I've followed state, national and international series. And you know, that's varied from dirt to speedway to off-road to road racing. But what I'm seeing with peccobagnaia, really, to be honest, I've never seen it before. This week we're going to discuss this. We're going to take a look and do some due diligence and look at some of the sports psychology reasons that might be happening. We're going to talk a little bit more about Yamaha's plan for their V4 for 2026 and on to 2027, and the threat made to Yamaha about performance. And we're also going to talk a little bit more about pedroacosta. So what did we see in KL? Well, first of all, just want to pass on my best. We know about the big accident that happened in Moto3. So look, I want to pass on my best to the riders and to the families involved. The race itself, well, it went pretty well to plan. I think I tipped Marcmarquez to win the race. He certainly got out in front, running the soft rear, soft front. Pedroacosta put the KTM into second place on the box, and that poses the question about his next move. And Johan Mir, the man who can find a crash for HRC, put the HRC on the box in third place. Peccobagnaia, why this is happening with peccobagnaia. The first thing I want to talk about with Pecco, he's riding a hybrid bike. Now, is it a 24, is it a 25? We know there's various different parts. So it's rumored that he's running the 24 ride height device. So what did we see on Saturday? In the sprint, we saw a ride height device failure. In fact, he could not use the ride height device at all, so he couldn't do that. And then on today, the race here on Sunday, he was running up front, then second, then dropped back down, and then what's believed to be a trouble with the Michelin rear tyre, some sort of puncture perhaps, or a slow deflation in some form that threw him off. So what's happening with peccobagnaia? Now, I had an opportunity to have a look and have a chat with one of the sports psychologists that I know, and he was talking about cognitive overload. Now, what does that mean? Let's not get too technical, but it means too much data and not enough instinct. He's got constant changes and he's really lost his flow, his natural ability just to get on the bike and ride. I think they call it the flow state. He's thinking about settings, he's thinking about telemetry, and he's not thinking about his natural skills and something as simple, I should say, as muscle memory. Now, this reduces confidence. He's lost his confidence. He's even fragile even when he's around winning. If you looked at Saturday in the sprint, he was sitting on the podium by himself. He was disconnected from the team. His wife is in tears. There's a lot going on and his confidence is suffering. Now, he's a perfectionist. Now, any champion can be a perfectionist. There's nothing wrong with that. But one small mistake can change his whole mindset, and something small becomes very big. He's fatigued. He has had constant changes throughout the year. He's having to process more information. He's having to see that it's inconsistent when he provides the feedback, and it's really starting to affect him. The team dynamic. Now, communication within that side of the pit box is and has to be at its best. He needs to be able to confidently rely on that, and he needs a strong emotional connection. That's one of the parts that makes him tick. He has in a very, very competitive box. Now, comparative pressure, comparing himself. For the first time, he's got Marcmarquez in the box. We know the effect of Marquez. Marcmarquez is winning. He's won. He's done the year. He's won everything. So he's now maybe competing against himself and not against the other riders. I really want to focus on something that's going to have a huge impact on what will be the 2026 and 2027 seasons. And that person I want to talk about is Fabio Quatararo and what's happening with Yamaha. Now, he has stated that if the V4 engined M1 is not in the top four to five bikes, he wants to see it at Valencia, but his deadline is the test in Sepang, which is February. If he can't see that, he's put them on notice that he's going to look to explore other opportunities. So that would mean he'd probably leave the team, and that would probably mean he would see him at Ducati or HRC. I think they're the only real two choices. But I want to ask this question, and I want to ask the question with you guys out there. You're tuned in, you know what's happening with MotoGP, you've seen it before. I want to know why he doesn't take some responsibility for what's happening. He's the number one rider. He's on 10 million euro a year. It's the highest grid salary of any rider, and he's paid to be the number one. Now, the number one, for me, if you're number one, you should be leading the team. He should be the captain. We remember El Capitan, Alex Espargaro with Aprilia. He stood tall on that bike. He battled, he improved it. He made the difference. So why not Fabio? Why can't Fabio get on that bike, develop it, provide some good feedback, and then actually get that bike moving forward? In other words, why can't he take some responsibility? Now, if he can't take the responsibility, then offer the support. Support Rins, support Jack Miller. Now, we know Top Rack's coming next year. He's got a test he'll be doing before Valencia, around that weekend of the 9th of November. Not 100% sure where that test is going to be, but he's going to jump on that bike. He'll bring his unique views coming straight off the BMW, so that's going to be very, very interesting. So I just want to ask you guys, what about Fabio? Should he get on board with the program and really make a difference, or should he get off the program? Get off the program. For me, I think it's quite simple. I think he should get on the program. I think he should help Yamaha. He should make the bike. He should offer his feedback, and if he's incapable of doing it, then support the team. That's what he's being paid to do, support the team. So that's where I see Fabio Quatararo. But what about you guys? What do you think what's happening out there? There's a lot I've covered today. We've been talking about some of the sports psychology components. We've been talking about peccobagnaia. We're talking about what's happening with pedroacosta. Where will he go next? And what about this question with Fabio? So if you've enjoyed today, then certainly give it a thumbs up. If you know someone that's into MotoGP, send this episode to them so they can enjoy it. And of course, as always, I'd always love to get a subscription. Okay, I appreciate you watching today, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Okay, bye for now.